Alright, so here's an example of what a kit might look like, an O-ring and seal kit. That would come with your pan. We got 2 O-rings for the dipstick tube, and then we've got the new replacement seal. It's nice and pliable, good condition. Go ahead and put this on first. Notice it has a little bit of a groove going around it. Okay, here's a comparison of the old one. Okay. The reverse of how this came off. So, the slip facing towards the engine. I'm just going to give it a little kiss of motor oil. Alright, we got our 14 oil pan bolts, our factory new replacements ready to go. And they just have a very light coating of copper-based high temperature anti-seize on them. Not too much, just a little. And there's the part number for those if you ever need any. These are pretty common across a variety of the EJ model engines. Okay, and this is the sealant we're going to go with. Permatex Ultra Gray Advanced Formula. Okay, go ahead and start adding us a bead. Okay, not the prettiest job, but I added a little bit more to the back because of that offset, that tilt we had. Alright, surfaces are clean. This is still wet as per instructions. This goes on. Bolts going finger tight till we compress. Cure for an hour. And then you can torque down after that. We got a bolt in this extension on standby so we can start pinning it once we get up side there. Alright, we got our seal in. Here we go. Okay. Okay, got stud number 1, or bolt number 1. There's just enough room to where you can just put the bolt up, your finger there, and you can get a screwdriver, because these are like a JIS Phillips, so it's kind of loose with this smaller screwdriver, but you can you can work it from an angle. It'll turn in. And I'm going to start in the middle and just work my way out to the ends. Okay, tighten that. Alright, gone and waited an hour for that sealant to set up. So now we can go ahead and give these a final torque. We'll start from the middle and we'll work our way out. And these get torqued to 3.6 foot-pounds or 5 kilonewtons. Okay, we'll run these in by hand here. Okay, once more around chasing these in. So loose. Nice and tight. And still not satisfied. Okay, snug. Alright, we got all those chased in and torqued up. Let this stuff cure for 24 hours before any oil goes in it. And start in on the reverse procedure. Alright, so we're ready to kind of prep our dipstick tube to go back in. That little bit of damage I caused with the mini vice grips, I kind of just buffed out real quick with a file. And what I originally did, okay, a little trick you can do here to try and prevent that. Just take yourself some emery cloth or sandpaper. This is like a 120 grit. And take the abrasive side and put that against the part. Okay, wrap it around. And you make yourself a little cushion here, a little barrier. And then take your vice grips, right? If you make that thick enough, that'll allow you to compress and get some tension and keep those teeth from digging in. But due to that corrosion, we were unable to pop this out. Okay, that's why we had to cut it. But that's something you can do. Emery cloth or sandpaper. Make yourself a little protective layer for the teeth to bite into, but also get some grip. But it didn't work in that case. Alright, get these factory O-rings off. Take your pick. Alright, so I'm just going to give these little rust spots a little buff them out with the wire wheel, get them cleaned up, and ideally I'd I don't know, I'd buff this out, leave a little of this iron oxide on. I'd hit this with you know, clean it up, degrease it, and hit it with a rust converter, let that set up, and then just put a lick of paint over this, and that would tune it up nicely. But I don't have any of that in stock, so I'm just going to clean it up best I can, and then I'm just going to coat this whole thing in oil as a preservative, and that'll do us just fine. Okay, before we start slapping any parts back down in here, we'll go ahead and get these nuts out of the way and any of this other sand and debris. You'd be amazed at how much crud you pick up inside your engine. Critters seeking refuge, and then just the sand from the roads in the winter just all gets washed up into all kinds of nooks and crannies. So there we go. So I'm not satisfied with these new O-rings. There's not a lot of compression. There's too much slop. And these might swell up over time, but it's not good enough in the beginning, so I'm going to reuse the old O-rings. They're still in usable condition. They're not really cracked or anything. Okay, you can see the difference there between the new and the old. I had put those somewhere else and I forgot to double check. But yeah, big difference.